Hi, good evening. Dr. Ruth Anderson here with Enlightened World Network. Cannot wait to introduce you. Most of you have met her, but introduce you to Diane Beiersdorfer. Diane has been with us on EWN several times now, and she's got a daily show called Come to the Playground. We air that on EWN Enlightened Living. So excited that this Thursday she's premiering a new show for us. She's going to continue with the Come to the Playground, and she's adding another show, and it's called Forever After That. It's going to be airing on Thursday evening, 7:00 p.m. Eastern. Diane, can you tell us what that show is about?
This show is something that's been in the works really for, man, a good year. I've been getting the push to do something, write books, do something. The whole idea being that a few years ago, I lost my husband very quickly to cancer, 6 week struggle, and realized very quickly that he never really left. And that's where the title comes from. What he always told me was, I love you until the day that I die and forever after that. And so he has made himself known to me and to many of my friends. There was messages that would come out of nowhere, songs they would send to me. And so it's all about reconnecting, holding space, truly. That's what it was all about for me, was saying, hey, Steve, will you take a walk with me? Or the hardest part of loss is that big empty space that we have after we lose someone. So for me, it was holding that space for him. And through holding that space open for him, he made himself very well known to me. He created just magical experiences for me. And so I've been working on a lot of projects for the past couple of years, and I have this little nagging voice here. Every so often, he pops back in. This is it's my miracle. It's something that I need to share. I can't keep hiding this. So this is what the show is all about. It's opening up that space for Steve, making space for him here on this network to allow him to come through and bring messages, to allow that energy of love that he brings. And in the process of that, hopefully we can do some healing and some work with others who are also going through loss.
How beautiful. I cannot wait to see these shows come out. I know some of our folks have never experienced a loved one coming back and visiting after they've transitioned. So I think for some folks, this is going to be really eye-opening.
Mhm,
And for other folks, they're going to go, I knew that. I've experienced that myself.
mhm. Yeah, we get that a lot. I work with people one on one, and many times, especially right after he passed, I would have people connect with me. They would be drawn to me because they're somehow experiencing the same kinds of things. Like we literally, within just a few days, people would tell me, it's going to be a while before you can connect with him. He's going to be off and healing or wherever he is. He would have none of that. He was back with me very, very quickly and literally would wrap himself around me in this bear hug. And I knew there was no way that it was anybody else but him. He made himself so aware. And it's almost as if there's a bridge between us. That connection is so strong, and I know that we're more and more of us are experiencing this now. So I hope that this show gives a platform to those people, or something like, oh wow, I'm going through this, am I crazy? Because I know many times we think that we are, or is there something real to this? And it helps us when we resonate with other people that are going through the same experiences.
And you're also going to have guests on with you.
Hmm.
So you,
Exactly. This
the first three lined up. Who is joining you for the first 3 weeks?
We have Sally De La Rosa first, who is an awesome medium. She does card readings. She also is getting ready to open up a healing center with her wife, and so they will have that going very, very soon. So it's a good opportunity for her to show what she's bringing into the world. Week 2 will be Paul Wyrostek, who is my greatest healer, my teacher from the beginning. Steve led me directly to Paul through different methods, and so. He is very near and dear to me. We wrote a book together, so we have a lot that we'll share. And then on the third week will be Katori Thomas, who is also a medium, who is someone that Steve went to. I call these people, they've been Steved. She brought messages to me also. She is also a medium, so she will help people also to connect. Hopefully, in that hour, we'll have some really great connections to loved ones.
I'm looking so forward to this. So the way that you find this, friends, is on Facebook. We'll be doing Facebook Lives. This particular show is at EWN Enlightened Living. You'll also be able to find it archived on YouTube on EWN Enlightened World Network. So Diane, thank you for being here with us today. And we'll see you tomorrow morning at Come to the Playground. And we'll also see you Thursday night for Forever After That.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Y'all take care. We'll see you soon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, and welcome to Gratitude Happy Hour. This is the time that we've set aside to just be in gratitude. And every week, I try to bring you somebody interesting and uplifting that can give us some insight about what they do in their life with gratitude. And today, I have a very special guest because I am so in love with this person. She has blessed my life in so many ways. And I want to tell you a little bit about her before I let her talk. So while I'm talking about her, you can share this out because people are going to want to know this woman. I'm talking about MarBeth Dunn. MarBeth is a mindset, success, and energy management specialist who helps highly sensitive women professionals create personal and economic miracles. She's a miracle worker. That's why I love her so much.
Absolutely.
She's a spiritual teacher for over 30 years. MarBeth uses her intuitive abilities to accurately pinpoint the hidden issues holding you back from your greatest successes. She has developed the powerful miracle activation technology system, an integrative approach to activate your miracle power breakthroughs to greater confidence, alignment, financial success, emotional freedom, peace of mind, and more harmonious relationships. Known as the Mindset and Miracles Mentor, MarBeth Dunn has a huge mission to bring joy and happiness to millions of highly sensitive women professionals. MarBeth is the co-author of the international bestseller, Start Right Marketing, and the bestseller, Conversations That Make a Difference. She is the former host of Having It All with MarBeth on the Law of Attraction Radio Network and founder and past president of the Miami Holistic Chamber of Commerce. She's been featured on several television networks. And I love you, MarBeth. And one thing that I do know that's not mentioned there in your bio is your love and your desire to have peace on earth. And we're going to talk about some of the things that you have done and are doing to get the message of peace out there more prominently into the world. So welcome, MarBeth, to Gratitude Happy Hour.
I am so grateful to be here, Teri, and I really love you too. You have the most magnificent energy. You're so pure and angelic. So what a joy it is to be here.
Oh, thank you. I was trying to remember earlier how we met. It's been a few years. And I believe it was through our mutual friend, Karen Palmer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm so grateful. I am just grateful for you. Every day I see you on social media, I see your name, and we've actually had the pleasure of meeting in person. And I've experienced one of those MarBeth hugs.
Now we're distant air hugs.
Not an air hug, but before COVID, it was a real hug.
It was a real hug, and I do miss those real hugs.
I do too. That's one of the things, there's some things I don't miss, but there are things like that I really do. It's like a personal touch. Yeah. And I don't know. What are your feelings? I don't know how soon we're going to feel that safetyness. Is that a word?
Yeah,
so we
I
feel
think
safe enough to do it again. It's a Teri word.
It should be. Yeah, it's hopefully it won't be too long. In the meantime, I feel like I'm all nested up in a chrysalis, waiting to emerge in a whole new form.
Yeah, and we are, aren't we?
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
and it's so interesting. I posted a video earlier this week, which was something I resurrected from the past. It was one of my miracle minutes, and it was love or fear. And it just really depends on the lenses that we wear, whether we're going to look at love or if we're going to look at fear. You know, if we look through the lenses of fear, you know, everything is awful and we're just not comfortable and we can't wait for this to end and on and on. And you know, everything is bad, instead of understanding that what a great golden opportunity we have to create something new and different.
Yes, absolutely. I have said that for a while now, not from the very beginning, but for a while. It really has come clear that this is a gift. It really is.
Yeah, the Course in Miracles tells us that all things are lessons God would have me learn. And I thought, what an opportunity. You know, what lessons can I learn now?
Mhm.
You know, and it's interesting because I am doing things differently. Aren't you? Are you doing things differently now?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not home. I've been away from my residence. I've been cocooned up here at the river with a dear friend. And that wasn't even the plan. I came up here for something else and kind of got stuck here in quarantine. But yeah, I am doing many things different. I found myself really doing more meditation than I used to do. And I've been really busy, but it's a different kind of busy.
Right.
Busy that's just exploding my path and my mission, where before it might have been, oh, I'm going to go do this and go out and do that. And now it's like I have more focus. And I've heard that from many people. And have you found that as well, that the focus has really increased with this time?
The focus has shifted, and I know I'm moving into something new. It's still percolating here in the chrysalis,
Mhm.
and but what I have been doing, and you know, I work with energy, and I found myself actually going back to my roots and using Reiki on myself, and then this whole, and you understand this totally, a whole other energy materialized,
Right.
which I've been learning, and the more that I've been using it, the more powerful it's been getting. So that's been very exciting.
That is exciting.
Yeah.
Wow. I know you are a powerful energy healer. I know this from experience. So I can't wait to feel that energy when I'm in your presence. I know that's
So
going to
you
be,
don't have to be in my presence. I
well,
can
that's
see
true
right
too.
over.
Yeah. Energy is energy, and there is no time or distance actually.
I know, which is so wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you are a very powerful energy healer too with your time heals.
Time heals, and now I do angelic Reiki, and
Beautiful.
I've in July I have plans to become a master in angelic Reiki.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
so
is that a new discipline or something that you've developed?
really, no, it's fairly new. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the person that channeled it in, but the training, it's a lot different than regular Reiki training, and the modality is a little different, although it still uses symbols,
Mhm.
uses Reiki symbols and attunements to these specific angelic symbols that come in, but
Oh,
you use the angels in your healing and the ascended masters. So it's very similar to what I was doing with Time Heals in that aspect. And I'm just loving it. And I can't wait to be able to teach it, because that's what I'm going to be doing after July.
well, your energy has shifted also.
Yes. Hasn't it? You know
Yeah.
me, you've been
Yeah.
around me.
But I haven't been around you in a while, and it's very different. You know, it's the new Teri Angel, the new improved.
Angel 2.0.
I love it. So we're all becoming 2.0, and how beautiful is that?
It is beautiful. We are so beautiful. And that's, I think, the thing that we tend to forget when there's a lot of spin happening around us. And all we have to do is step back, right? Just step away from the spin and go back
Yeah.
to that place inside.
No, that's very true. Someone asked me the other day, how do we know what's true? Everybody is so biased and everybody has a spin on it. And I said, well, first of all, you want to get very, very still. We have to get very, very still and just choose what feels more peaceful.
Mhm.
That's got to be your gauge because that's your connection to the divine. And when we are in that state of peace, we are in truth. So it really doesn't matter, well, on some levels, what's going on around us. If we can stay in that peaceful place, we'll always be guided to do the right thing.
Mhm. We absolutely will. And MarBeth, I know that you're very familiar with the Heart Math Institute,
Oh, yes.
the heart brain coherence.
Yeah.
And let's talk about how important that is for us to mind our own energy, so to speak, because it does affect the world.
It really does. And, especially if we are caught up in the news cycle, it basically contracts you. And I don't watch the news, although I have recently been watching Trevor Noah, his take on it. But then I realized I can't go to sleep with this. I have to do something to shift out of that. So I'll read something spiritual or listen to something spiritual so that, and then I do this new energy work that I've been doing. And it's putting me in a very good place.
Yeah.
Really, really enjoying it.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing. Once we get to that centered place, we're vibrating at a different frequency. And that's going out and it's affecting other people just from doing that. I used to
Absolutely.
ask the question, what can I do? I'm just one person. What difference does it make if I'm angry or if I'm sad, if I'm not really up all the time? And then when I studied with Greg Braden and found out the real importance of what we're putting out there with our own frequency, it does matter.
Absolutely. Yeah, I really like his work. He's an author I've been following for many, 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 many years. He's really good. I think I did interview him
Mhm.
several years ago when I Law of Attraction.
Yeah, what an interesting man.
Yes, he
I'm
is.
so grateful that I was able to learn that information and
Yes.
to have that knowledge that whatever we do, that we can lift our vibration, it really does make a difference.
Well, yeah, and the Course in Miracles tells us that there's no such thing as an idle thought.
That is,
So if we monitor our thoughts and we're careful, because that's the thing too, I've had people in the past, a long past, who were into verbal abuse
mhm,
in my life, and they didn't recognize that words could hurt. Well, they do. They can inflict greater wounds than anything physical.
mhm,
Um, and but your thoughts are so powerful. So
mhm,
if you're focused on recognizing I am perfect, I am powerful, I'm limitless, I'm child of God, and that means that I'm created in the image of our creator. So I don't have any limits. I can just expand and be in that space of pure oneness. I am powerful. And when I had my World Miracle Peace experiment a year and a half ago, we demonstrated with independent statistics that we could affect the level of violence in the Middle East by focusing directly, meeting in the field, the
mhm,
field of oneness, all of us. And yes, one of us is powerful, but all of us together, woo!
mhm,
And that's what's happening also on Enlightened World Network, creating that power of unification and
mhm,
not necessarily not needing to be present at all, because we meet in the energy of oneness and we can direct that anywhere we want it. So we were actually, through independent statistics, it showed that the level of violence dropped about 20%.
Awesome. Tell people what you did, MarBeth, with that experiment.
Well, I broadcast a meditation every day. It was supposed to be 7 minutes, but it wasn't exact. Some days it might be 10, some days it might be 12. And I gathered people on Facebook, and we all would join in at a certain time. If you couldn't make the time, it was there. And I set the intention that it would build for as many people would come together. And the daily meditations, you were one of the meditators,
Yes.
meditation leaders. And so I kept it going every day. And after the first 30 days, I initially did it for 30 days because I wanted to see, and there was a dramatic drop. But I didn't really want to stop. I really didn't want to stop at all. I really loved it. But we were moving and I was told stop. And then I kept wanting to start it again. And I was like, nope, not now. So, but I do love to lead meditations, and and it is so powerful, as you know, and so effective.
Absolutely. And let's talk about intention. You mentioned that.
Yeah.
And how powerful that word is, and just doing that act of setting an intention.
Setting the intention and seeing it already happening. The visuals, it was a guided meditation. And so the visuals would be, just seeing a cloud of love and peace embracing the earth, and just seeing all of everybody, just seeing the lights, everybody's heart just light up all around the earth, and we can do this, we're all one being. And even though we know we look different and we might have different hair colors or skin colors or features, there's just this perfect oneness inside. It's like we've stepped into a play when we're born, and we're all playing different roles, but the essence of who we are is always this pure, beautiful light. Like in the movie Cocoon. Do you remember that movie?
I do.
One of my favorites, because the aliens, so we'll call them, they were beings of light. They were beings of light, and they would just put on human suits so the humans would be able to accept who they were. But they were in actuality beings of light. And that's the way I see humanity. We are beings of light, and we just happened in this lifetime to be putting on the particular suit that we're wearing, but we're eternal beings, and the light never dims. It just is. And that's who we are. So when we recognize this, and we can tap into that essence and recognize the connection, the unity that we have, then we become who we're meant to be, and we can extend that to everyone. So it's a beautiful thing.
Oh, I love that. Love it. I'm sure you're probably familiar with the work of Lynn McTaggart with the power of,
of course,
and setting intentions. And I do an intentions group, private group every week. And wow, is that powerful? We have so many things that come from that. But many people think, that just because you set an intention, it's going to happen. It's holding the trust that that intention is something that you're creating, something you're stating. We create with our thoughts. So if we say, focus on, I set this intention for world peace. I set the intention that there's going to be more calm and peace in the Middle East. Look what happened. It was a focused intention.
Absolutely. And also the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza is very cool. He was another one that I interviewed, and And his work is very powerful. I took a cruise with him.
I thought so, just
Yeah,
recently.
that was in October. Thank God it wasn't in March, but
Right.
it was in October.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful. 10 days, through the Mediterranean. It was really good. And his work is really beautiful because it's focusing of seeing ourselves in that field which is just pure energy. It's pure potentiality. We move into that field, we see ourselves the way we want to be. People heal of incurable diseases. Not everybody,
Not
but
everybody, but that's not their path. Yeah.
a significant amount of people.
Mhm.
One person is significant, but when it becomes more than one or
Mhm.
two or three or five or 10, it's dramatic, but I've used variations on those meditations myself, and, and found that it was physically healing. And my own, I was able to heal something pretty dramatically through that meditation. So, and I know you've come through some amazing healings also.
Oh, absolutely. My whole life.
Yes.
Yeah, this has been a lifetime of healing.
And
But
you're a
also,
miracle girl.
I am. I am a walking miracle. I should have died so many times in this lifetime from the things I was going through.
Right.
And I'm still here. I'm still kicking, as the song says,
Yep.
I'm still standing, and it is a miracle. And every day I give gratitude, and that's a huge part of it. Every day I wake up and say, thank you, God, another day. This is another day, another opportunity to make a difference and to put my imprint on the world. So attitude, intention, all of it just kind of flows into just doing and going forward and manifesting. And
Oh,
I
yes.
know that you're a great manifester. I have to tell you, I was so excited to have you on today. In our morning show, we have a morning show called Coffee and Conversation, and we do it early in the morning. Well, we decided to start together as a collective energy doing Pam Grout's E squared experiments. And so the one we're on today that started this morning is the abracadabra principle, where we're going to focus on something and manifest that, bring it to us.
Oh, fun.
So yeah, so I was so excited, and I was telling people, oh, she's just like this wonderful person that can focus, and then there it is. And I know this about you. So let's talk about that secret to manifesting, which
I think the key to manifesting, we know what we want.
mhm,
We know what we want. Sometimes you need the clarity, if you're a little wishy-washy, well, I'm not sure if I want this or that, or maybe that. You have to get clarity. But once you really decide what you want, you have to detach from it so that you don't want it too much. Because once you want it too much, you're actually going to repel it. And I'll give you a wonderful example of that is my attraction of Harrison. Now, I had been dating since my divorce, and I had made a list of who I wanted, making a list, getting more clarity. And but then I was becoming a Kundalini yoga instructor, and it was just a lot. It was a lot. And so I took myself off the dating sites. I said, this is just too much. And also having to get up at 3 a.m. to go to sadhanas. And it was just too much to even think about dating. So I figured when I'm finished with this training in 9 months, I will date. So basically I let it go. So
mhm,
evidently I had thought I had let it go, but I hadn't. And so as soon as I started doing my yoga training, within a month, I got a message, an email, and I had taken myself off all the dating sites I had been on. And the message I knew it was really nothing, but my intuitive knowledge was like, you gotta see this message. And I thought, I don't want to see this message. It's not anything, but I always trust it. When I get that intuitive hit, I totally trust it. So I had to sign up again and to see what this message was. And so I did. And of course, I knew the message was nothing, but I looked at my matches and there was Harrison and he was all lit up. And he looked exactly like my boyfriend who had died about 2 years before that and had the same, almost the same name,
Mhm.
you know, and that's weird. And then when I looked at his profile and he was a spiritual teacher, I thought, So I reached out and the rest is history. But it's because I had let go.
Mhm.
You know, if you don't let go, it's like you're driving with one foot on the brake. You know, it just really keeps you from getting where you want to be. So once you decide, you have to just trust that it's okay and just go about your life and do what you want to do.
I love this. So I hope you all are listening, because I am looking and I'm seeing pretty much a majority of the people that come on with me in the morning are here watching us, and they're all participating and doing this manifestation. So yes, I see you all and love you, and thank you for being here on this show. And I hope that you just heard what MarBeth was explaining about manifesting, because that's what we're doing. We are going into this with an open mind and saying, okay, we're going to do this experiment. We're going to see if we can manifest something. We've already done the first part, which was the dude abides principle, where we're just going to receive something out of the ordinary. And oh my gosh, some of the testimonies of what was brought in with that are amazing. So I can't wait to see what people are going to manifest. And yes, I see all of you beautiful people. Thank you. And then they're waving and they're saying hi and yes. So yeah, so what a great timing, MarBeth, for you to be on with me. And at the time I booked you to come on here, we weren't even doing that particular thing.
Well, there's no accidents, you know that.
No accidents or coincidences. And one of our members says, yes, I really needed some pointers. So gratitude.
Well, gratitude, of course, is so essential because it raises your vibration so high.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just about at the same um, elevation as love.
Yeah.
It's just another face of love.
Yeah. And from what I understand and what has happened with me, if you give gratitude for something that you're wanting, something that you're trying to call to you, if you give gratitude before you see the evidence of it, doesn't that just increase the potential of that coming?
And also, you can celebrate, you know, get out your champagne glasses and let's just celebrate that it happened and it's amazing. And it's just so wonderful. And that just pulls it right in.
It does. It does. I've done many things like that where we treat people how to treat us, but also it's important to treat ourselves the way we want to be treated. So buying yourself flowers, setting a nice plate at the dinner instead of eating off a paper plate when you're all by yourself. And there's that tendency to, okay, minimize, right? I don't have to wash dishes if I can eat off a paper plate. But treat yourself the way you would want to be treated. And that's a very important part of what you're bringing into you, is how you respect and honor yourself.
Actually, I think that's first. I think you really need to respect and honor yourself. And it's so essential. I was talking with a friend a couple of days ago who's also, I'm very empathic and she's very empathic. And she was telling me that right after this quarantine began, so many people were reaching out to her. And she was just servicing all these people, you know, helping them. And she ended up in the hospital because she was just so drained. And it's essential, especially if you're an empath like we are, that you have to be able to recognize that, no, I've got to take care of myself. And, I'm also clairsentient, so my body will often warn me, okay, let's suit up in the Iron Woman costume,
Yeah.
at the helmet, everything. Intention is like, let's just keep this, only allow in the positive energy, and we can service people from here, but don't let it drain your own energy. That's so key.
It really is. That's the number one thing, is to really protect yourself. And I know I use a lot of white light energy, seeing myself surrounded in that. What are
Me
some
too.
other pointers we can give people for protecting our energy space as we're doing our work, as we're going about our things that we do to as energy healers and workers, light workers out in the world?
So one of my favorites is a disco ball, to get inside a disco ball. And so you're just reflecting back any energy that's coming at you, and only allowing love through. That's it. You're totally protected.
I love that. And what fun with a disco ball.
Yeah. I mean, how fun. You're just celebrating. You can dance.
I love that. And that's another thing, is raising your vibration through laughter, through really getting into
Yes.
the energy of joy and movement, dancing, anything to move the energy inside of you so that it is high vibrating.
It's so important that the laughter. Just before we got on, I was watching this hilarious video of practical jokes, and I was just laughing out loud. It was just so fun. But Norman Cousins was dying. He was, I don't know, but was he in the 50s? You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And he was dying, and his doctor said, "You've got just a few more weeks to live." And he locked himself in a hotel room, and he watched funny movies.
Mhm.
And lo and behold, he lived for like 25, 30 years more, and wrote books about his experience. And that's all through laughter. If we watch the news, if we focus on this virus, if we focus on what appears to be happening, is that real? I don't think so. I think what's real is love. There's nothing else that's real. So if we focus on what's real, and we focus on what feels peaceful, and just, if you're confused, just move one step at a time. I feel peaceful this way, and I feel peaceful this way, and I feel peaceful that way. Just, and keep checking in, because you will be guided. You will know if you are still and you listen to your heart.
Absolutely. I love that. And doing it in increments. Baby
Mhm.
steps is what I call it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love the tip on laughter. Well, you were around last year when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And the one thing that I asked of people once I told everyone what was going on, I said, make me laugh. Make me laugh. Send me jokes. Send me funnies. I don't care if they're disgusting, even. I just want to laugh. And they did. And people still do. They still send me something every so often to help lift the vibration. But MarBeth,
Yeah.
that really put me in that state of mind of, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
I have support. I have love. And when I get into the laughter and the lightness, then I can focus on that. I can focus on what I have, and not the issue of what I don't have or what's threatened to be taken away. So it really is one of the most therapeutic things we can do, is
It
just laugh.
really, 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 really is. Harrison and I were watching just funny videos last night. We were watching Jackie Mason. He had an hour show that had gone to Broadway. It was hilarious. And we just totally enjoyed it. And I posted this very funny video my uncle had sent me, my 90-something-year-old uncle, who I love. and adore. And he'd sent me this funny video. I posted it on my page in my story yesterday because it was hilarious. A pink elephant with yellow polka dots.
He sounds like a character.
My uncle, he is. He's great.
Awesome. That is so awesome. You know, another thing, MarBeth, that we can do when we're in that, I call it a funk, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, the world's falling apart, the sky is falling. One thing that can lift us is to do something for somebody else.
That's huge. It
Look
really can be.
outside and see what is it that I can do? How can I help somebody? Maybe there's a neighbor that needs help with grocery shopping or carrying groceries into their house. Yeah, wouldn't that be
Yeah.
awesome to start just helping
Yeah.
instead of observing that there's something wrong and turning our heads?
Yeah. No, that's very true. Uh, I had that. I actually have one of my neighbor. Well, I have Bon Jovi's parents are my neighbors.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, and I heard about that. I hadn't met them, and I thought one day, talk about manifesting. I thought, oh, I'd like to meet them. The very next day, she was coming toward my driveway in a walker, and I was, I was on the phone. I was taking groceries out of the car, and I said, "Can I help you?" And she said, "Yes." So I ended up spending the whole afternoon with her.
Wow.
No, I took her shopping.
Mhm.
She invited me in. That was really quite interesting, and talk about manifesting and helping all in one.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's wow. What a gift. So when we are in that mode of just wanting to help, see what miracles can happen.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, you probably would have asked if you could help, even if you didn't know who she was,
I
right?
didn't know who she was. I
Oh,
did.
you didn't know that was her.
I
I
didn't know it was
got it.
her. No, I mean, this woman was with the walker, and she looked kind of upset and lost, and I just said, "Can I help you?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "What do you need?" And she said, "I need a ride to J.C. Penney's." So I said, "Okay, let me take this in the house." And I took her, I put her walker in the back, and I didn't know who she was at the time, but then I found out.
And I'm sure there was a big thank you.
Yes, there was.
Thank you, God, for manifesting this to me.
It was so funny because I thought I would really like to meet them. And then it was the very next day.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay, I know my people are still here. You all are hearing this, aren't you? And one of the things that Pam points out in her book, and it's, I believe it's an Abraham quote, that it's as easy to manifest a castle as it is a button.
Hmm.
That there is no.
I hadn't heard that quote, but I know also another quote from A Course in Miracles is that, it's just as easy to cure cancer as it is a common cold.
Yeah.
That's a direct quote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
I thought that was,
Pam's a big A Course in Miracles person. And
yeah, that was I've been began cutting my teeth on it about 40 years ago, and I've taught it, and I've led groups, and it's basically my base from where I come from.
yeah. Yeah. And I know earlier you had mentioned going back to basics. I think a lot of us didn't we, during this time out? We went back to, okay, what's really important in my life?
Well, it was so interesting because Reiki showed up and the violet flame and
Mhm.
and these are things that I hadn't really done in many years because I've incorporated so many different things.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, I'll do it. This is what's showing up now. And it's been wonderful.
Yeah, you were definitely led.
I definitely led.
Yeah.
And
And
it really feels so good. I had been going to a yoga studio. I had been going and doing Pilates, but I can't anymore. I can't do that at this time. So I've been doing yoga at home. I haven't, and walking. Harrison and I walk in the evening, so that's new. It's nice.
Yeah, it is. And I know there's plans for Enlightened World Network to have yoga.
Wonderful.
Yeah, we're going to be doing that. I believe Ruth has talked to a couple of different people.
Good.
And yeah, so I'm excited about that. I've never been one to go to a yoga studio to do yoga, but I would love to do it. You know, I know there's such a benefit even just to doing the meditation with it
Mhm.
and just going into that inner realm of, okay, let me just go into peace for a few minutes. And that's what I get from yoga now. Before it was like, I can't do all of those twists and turns with my body, but I can go into that meditative state and the peace of yoga. That's what I love about it.
Well, Kundalini yoga is different from other yoga. I mean, I taught myself yoga when I was 12 from a book.
Mhm.
You know, I have evidently a lot of past lives, you know, with yoga. And and when I was guided to do Kundalini yoga and then to become an instructor, and it wasn't that I was really going to teach it, but I've incorporated it, and it's the meditations are really phenomenal. And when I was doing my training,
I jumped.
I'm so sorry. I did shut this off. I don't know why. I have it on do
Woke
not.
everybody up. Hi, everybody.
That's weird. I did put it on do not disturb. It's sitting there because I don't know why it rang. But it was my uncle.
Technology is doing weird things right now.
Yeah, so we learned that if you do the exercises before you meditate, it actually takes you into a deeper place,
Oh, okay.
which is kind of interesting. Kundalini is, you know, it has different, they call them kriyas, or um, it's like a recipe of different postures that you assemble together, and there's a lot of breathing in there, all these different types of breath of fire and all these different types of breath work, and they basically have different results. So there's one that will, you know, expand your aura, and then the one I was working on today was the 10 bodies. So positive mind, negative mind, neutral mind, your auric field, and, you know, it just goes on and on for these 10 bodies. And there's a lot of breath in this one, but I had, it's one of my favorites. You know?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to check out when they do start showing the yoga on Enlightened World. That's one thing that I am very interested in watching and participating in. And I know that one of my friends has a yoga studio and is a yoga teacher. And I'm pretty sure she's been approached to do a show for us.
Good,
She's
that's
awesome.
wonderful.
She is so awesome. She's like a hippie-ish type of person. She's just so free flowing, and you just love her. You can't help but love her. She's just out there, and so I'm hoping that it's going to be her that brings us that show, and we'll of course let everybody know when that happens, so we can all enjoy it and share it out. But you'd mentioned the breath with yoga, and the breath is the one thing that brings us into focus, doesn't
Yeah.
it? It's what brings us back to what I call home, that
Yep.
place inside, that very center of our being.
Reset.
Yeah.
There's one kriya for, it's called prana apana. What prana is the life force energy, or chi. You know, if we're going to go into like qigong or whatever, it's that life force energy. So we want that energy to be moving and circulating and keeping us at our best, really. So when you are breathing, there's that energy element in the air, that invisible energy element that's life force energy. That's why it's really important to focus on the breath. And then it also brings you right into the present moment, you know, which is our pivotal point of power, as you know.
Yes.
So it brings us into our bodies. And from here, through our sensations, we can become very, very present. And then we're in the now. so we can actually leave that whole past thing behind us and forget about the future and just be right here.
Yeah, because there really is not a past or a future.
No.
There really isn't. All we have is this time, this moment. And from my belief, everything is happening. It's not that it happened or it will happen. It's all happening.
It's actually all in our field, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
So when I'm working with people, and I recognize, oh, what you're experiencing now, this issue is actually caused by a past life, I can find it in their field, and then we can release it. So it is there right now, in the now,
Mhm.
and it's affecting you, even though it appeared to have happened in the past.
Yes, exactly. I love that. And oh my gosh, I'm just beaming right now because this is what I teach. And I love when I can have a discussion with somebody and they're like, yes, yes. Because sometimes, we make these statements and somebody's like, huh? What do you mean there's no past?
I know. Well, we speak of the same language.
Yes, we are. Yeah. And I'll be teaching a master class this coming weekend on Sunday, and it's about the chakras, but I'm going to be explaining that as well, how everything is with us in the now, right here in our energy centers, in our energy field. It's all here. And
Nice.
yeah, I love it. I love this whole discussion today. It's been so awesome with you.
It's wonderful with you.
Just an amazing person. And you've done so much and experienced so much in your life. And what you have brought today about manifesting, about peace, um, just being, just being. It's such a great message for all of us to hear. Sometimes we hear those words, but with you, you see it. You
So
see
it's
the
so
energy of
interesting.
peace.
When I first learned about miracles, I didn't believe in them. I was living a miserable existence. But I think we need contrast. We
Mhm.
really need to understand that, oh yeah, I definitely don't want this. This is pretty awful.
Yeah, some of it was.
But what a great opportunity, because if we hadn't experienced it, we wouldn't have learned what we needed to learn.
Mhm.
Even though it wasn't fun at the time, it was really, I wouldn't change any of it.
No, no. One of my mentors is Lisa Nichols, and
Okay.
she makes that statement that we needed every experience that we had because
Yeah,
it brought us right here, right now.
exactly.
Us is what we're made up of, or all those experiences.
Yes.
Yeah. So no, I wouldn't change a thing. Yeah. Even the ones that are looked at as not great experiences, they were great because I learned so much from them.
Yes.
I've heard you get your greatest breakthrough with your greatest struggles.
Yes, that's absolutely true. And so much of it, because it was in the ether, the etheric world, I didn't really understand or know where I was going. But I was able to figure a lot of it out, which is very empowering.
Mhm.
No, it really is. It was like, whoa, that's what that was about.
Mhm.
And it's
Absolutely.
almost like decoding so, something that's so complex and or a big puzzle,
Mhm.
and just taking every element out and working at it element by element, and suddenly it's like, wow, that's why all of that, and now I can teach that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And sometimes when we go through a struggle or a challenge, let's use my example from last year. At first I was very angry that I had to go through it, but then I was like, when I sat with the angels and I'm going, okay, guys, what's this all about?
I remember
Like,
that.
let's talk about this. And it was, you're really going to comprehend. You're going to know every bit of from getting a diagnosis to the fear of the unknown and all those emotions that you go through. And it's so true. It's like now I talk to somebody that is maybe newly diagnosed with breast cancer or any other illness, and I fully get where they're at. I get what their that fear and all of that anger that comes up and all of it, the whole spectrum. So yeah, I don't push away any experience now. I'm just like, okay, what am I going to learn from this one? What's going to happen with this one? You know, kind of like a little kid. Okay, let's take door number 2, and I want to learn from that.
But and having the angels there, and just knowing that they're there, surrounding us and helping us,
Yeah,
it's so helpful.
it is. It certainly is. Oh, wow, this has been great, and the hour just has flown by. But I just wanted to see, is there something that's going on with your world that you would like for us to know about? I know you have a new show, right? Is it a weekly show that you do?
I was doing panels, every week, and then I feel like something new is coming.
Okay.
So I still always will put something up every week, and I feel like it's really important to maintain the communication. But with my last panel, it was like, oh, this is finished.
Wow. And it's interesting because you know that intuitively, you already know that it's time to stop.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. So I don't know where we're heading. I feel like I'm going to be teaching something energetic. I definitely feel that.
Yeah.
And I said it out loud.
Yes, you did. That's the first part. Now step away.
Yeah. I don't know exactly the form that this is taking, but I think it's very exciting.
Yes, it will be. You are a great teacher, and
Look who's talking.
you've done so much out in the world, and the world is blessed just to have you in it.
Back at ya.
So
Well,
how do
everything
people,
we do for ourselves, right?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
we're just reflections of each other.
that's right. Yeah, I love that. And I love when you finally understand that, it makes a huge difference. You know, we hear things all the time. We're constantly hearing statements that people make and things, and we're like, oh, okay. But until you fully get that, yes, we are all mirrors of each other. We do show those things inside of us. And somebody else is showing me something to bring up and maybe to be cleared away or healed inside of us. So yeah, we are all playing that part. I always say each one of us, this is our movie, and all the people that are out there in our life, they're the supporting actors, and they're showing what I'm supposed to do, how am I supposed to respond with my next line, you know, what are my emotions in that movie. So I just love that we have created this universe where we can do that and we can fully understand things from each other.
And it's interesting because I think that the C virus is here for a purpose also. And I think we just need to maybe focus love.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's our superpower.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love and making choices. Those are our superpowers.
Hmm.
We have choices. And, you know, you and I had talked, I know we're almost out of time, but I just looked and saw it's 555. That's your number. Um, we were talking before we came on about re-entering, and it's my intention and my prayer that we will all remember this time we went through, remember what we wanted to know once we came out of this time. You know, things about being cautious, and, you know, we discussed the things that aren't really necessary and that we were doing before. And it's like, you know, do I really need to do that now? And look at some priorities and look at how we can change. It is going to be a different paradigm. It's totally something we've never had to encounter before, ever.
No, we
I,
never had to.
I'm praying that we will use caution and use common sense and just really go into this with some respect for each other. We've all been through something. So
Yeah.
if somebody's losing their patience, or, they've got some anger coming out or whatever, just send them love. Don't do that immediate response to them. Oh, you're a hateful person. Look at what they've been through, the same thing you've been through, and
Yeah.
show some compassion. And I love using pause. So if somebody is in that state, if they're maybe ranting and raving, just pause for a minute and let all of that happen, and then send them love.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's perfect. And that's what we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Love is always the answer.
It is.
And what they're expressing, what people are expressing in one form or another, is either love or a call for love. And they may not recognize it, and we may not need to be the one to respond to it. But as long as we recognize it, then we're basically responding with compassion,
Mm-hmm.
even giving them the space that
Yeah,
they need to learn whatever lessons they need to learn.
absolutely. I have to tell you about a little experiment that I did one day. And this was right after I had studied the heart brain and heart brain coherence. So I had gone to the grocery store. It was a very, very busy grocery store, and people coming and going out into the parking lot. And I just sat in my car and I'm watching the people as they walk out or walk into the store. And you can tell pretty much by people's body language if they're in a good mood, bad mood,
Yeah.
distracted, busy, whatever. I just sat there and I would pick one person and I would just start sending love to that person. And I would just, with my thoughts, I would just like send out these little love arrows. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sending something to you. I'm focusing on you. And almost every person that I did that to looked around. It was the most interesting thing because they just kind of looked like, what was that? It makes a difference.
It
Just
makes a
send
difference.
people love. Send
Yeah.
them those love arrows because it hits them. It really does go out to that person. That's a focused intention that
Yes,
we
it,
all can do.
yep.
Yeah.
I wonder what would happen if we all did that for our president, if that would make a shift.
Exactly. Yeah. I would love to see that experiment happen. Absolutely
Yeah.
love it.
Oh, who knows? Maybe that's the next one.
It may be. Oh, my darling friend, how can we get in touch with you? How can people find you? Because I want you to be found.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, I'm on Facebook and I have a website, marbethdunn.com. On Facebook, I'm MarBeth Dunn. And then I also have the World Miracle Peace Experiment as my group. So that's basically where you can find me.
Okay, and that's an open group, right? A public
It's
group.
an open group. Yeah. We've got lots of meditations, all of the world peace meditations that I did are there. And then I'm also always constantly adding stuff.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for being with me today. Wendy is saying thank you, and Hope and Gabby, Julie, all these people are just so beautiful. Thank you, Jean Lorio. I love you all so much. And thank you for coming in and finding my friend MarBeth that I want you to get to know her. So go find her group on Facebook and let's share out this beautiful person into the world. MarBeth, you make such a difference. Each,
Thank
each
you,
one of us
sweetie.
matter. And you have set about with your life to really matter, to really put energy out there that's positive and uplifting. And Melody Baker says thank you. Awesome. Thank you all so much for being with us. And MarBeth, I look forward to the next time I get to see you.
I know. Hopefully we can see each other in person sometime soon.
Yeah, that's my hope too. Let's set that intention.
Yeah, brunch. We'll have brunch.
Let's have brunch.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I love you, honey. You're
I
such
love
a
you. I
blessing.
love you
And
more.
please give your Harrison my love.
I will.
Know he's around, and you two have a blessed rest of your night.
And you too, sweetheart.
Thank
Thanks for having me.
you. Bye. Bye.